The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your wonderful host. And it doesn't matter where you are, anywhere, so that you can be here when it matters.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
S&Ps are flat. Dow's up 217. NASDAQ's off 109. So we got a little bit for everyone out here. We had a nice little retest of the highs today. Well, not the highs today. We were about 10 points higher right around lunch on the S&P 500. Not a lot of desire to actually see the market go higher, looks like. I've got one thing I need to do, and I'll be right back. And I'm right back. So, now I got a cable caught. Come on. There we go. Okay. Again, kind of setting up for options expiration tomorrow. Options expire on the 20th, but tomorrow is the Delta neutral day. They've been fairly weak for the last 4 or 5 days. And we'll see whether they can do any repair. I don't suspect that we see much. But options suggest that you could get down maybe into the 3,400 area over the next 6 or 7 days. Not exactly sure what the impedance would be, other than maybe kind of ask a few questions yesterday, and I still don't have the answer, and that is, what does the market do now that the stimulus is kind of the $2 trillion mark is maybe in the rearview mirror? Talk that I saw today from informed sources, maybe down to $1 trillion now. So we shall see. But I think as that reality comes out, the market's probably going to say, well, we got to actually get back to work and start making money. There's not going to be all this stuff sloshing around for free money, and probably see a little bit of a pullback. Two, we've seen some real weakness in the way that the FANG stocks and other stocks that did extremely well with the shutdown. Two things. We've had, 4 or 5 different Supreme Court rulings now on shutdowns. And like I've said before, I don't think we're ever going to get one again, mostly because these things say that the governors can't do anything now that it's been over 30 days. Some say 90 days. But at some point, you can't just continue saying emergency, emergency. You actually have to legislate what people can and cannot do. And if they don't, the executive power does diminish to nothing. That we got to get, if you're going to do something like that in the next few months, while everybody's waiting to get their vaccine, you just can't do that much. A lot of court cases actually going before the Supreme Court right now about the ability to force people into taking the vaccine or wearing masks or a lot of other stuff that in the past would not have passed muster at the feet of the Supremes, no matter what song they were singing. So we shall see, but I have a feeling that everybody knows that it's time to start getting back to work. A lot of action all over the place in Apple. It found some support at 114 today. Of course, kind of the biggest lever to the market and the NASDAQ. But I don't see anything other than probably a little continued selling again for a little bit until we get some kind of resolution to other big issues. But kind of hard for me to handicap the reason that a lot of people want to be moving the ball forward in Congress, either the House or the Senate. If you wait, you got 10 or 15 more Republicans in the House. The thought is that maybe they could get something through the Senate if they win both seats in Georgia. That's probably a long shot. So the question is, do you try to make a deal now, or do you wait until after the first of the year with a new Congress sat? And I don't know. I think it's probably about 6 of one, a half a dozen of the other. But certainly, I don't see the fire in the bellies for these folks to go forward right now. Don't hear a lot about it when I'm looking at the headlines. Most everybody is focused on stuff elsewhere. And with the vaccine, most people probably willing to say, hey, the farther we can go down the road without doing anything, probably the better. But very tough to tell. And again, we're not in the right or wrong morally business between 9:30 and 4 o'clock. We are in the higher or lower business. So I know that's awful hard to set aside for some. But that's about it. And somebody said the S&P actually, oh, there it did. It did drop. Now off 11 points. Thanks, Jimmy, for the heads up in the den. Anyway, Delta Neutral tomorrow. We talk about this every month. The 8th day before options expire, the Wednesday, the week before, option market makers start having options that may have been out 30, 60, 90 days. And those options, the premium becomes very small. Therefore, the risk becomes very large that winner, as that option went out there and the premiums melted, and they collect all that cash. It's kind of like just getting a big rake. And every day you just go out there and rake some more cash. Was there a movie like that? I want to say there was a Tom Cruise movie where he just said, I'll get a rake. We'll pile it all up somewhere. But they get the rake out there, and every day they pull back a little bit more of that premium, a little bit more of that premium. And at this point, it actually gets just to be too much work for the risk outstanding. So they try to hedge the other side of that. They don't get rid of them, although they will try to buy some of them back if that's the cheaper way to do it. So tomorrow, look for some significant machinations in the market. But by the end of the day, I'm going to have a pretty good idea where they think this market's going to expire on the 20th. They tend to be the best traders in all of the market. And if they can't get it there naturally, there's always by hook or crook. And that means phony upgrades and downgrades over the next week or two. Bogus news stories. They have a litany of things that they can do. We have no more. Okay, but we do it for. Not now. Higher or lower is our business. Back to the
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And we had a question. Of course, what happens is tomorrow is that they will try to go on both sides. What options look like last night and into today shows a distinctively lower grade. The guess around 340 or so on the S&P is not beyond the scope of reason. But right now they're closer to 330. Now, can that take a huge swing, maybe 50 points? Not 50 points, excuse me, on the SPYs. Confusing the S&P cash and the SPYs. Could you see a big range out there? Could it get much closer to the price today? The answer is yes. I don't think it's going to swing that far, though. But options are showing a bias of weakness. And my guess is that probably is not going to change. We've had a big sell-off. You've got a lot of stocks like Apple, Microsoft that are showing weakness. And, you know, normally everybody's come in and bought them right away. I haven't really seen that from yesterday to today. There's enough to maybe hold them here, but it doesn't look like there's a lot of impotence to drive it higher. We're way far away from any fund buying. And one of the things that the market truly hates is the undecided. And if we're waiting now for a, January 5th election in Georgia, that may be enough to put some fairly deep cloud cover over the market for a while. What is the best way to read my options charts? I did, a 1.5 hour thing a couple of years ago. I've got actually some white papers for my subscribers. So if you're one of those, just email me and let me know, and I'll make sure and get you that white paper. So, but it's pretty extensive. But for the most part, I've made a fairly decent model. It's not just Max Payne. It's got a lot of other stuff in it, and it shows kind of where the worst place for the option buyers to be would on expiration. So it lot of times it's not going to match up with what you would see. And I do mine a little bit differently. I think if you look at theirs and mine, I think there's a flaw in it. I wrote my first article about this in the Christmas edition of 2004 in Stocks and Commodities. If you're not a subscriber or a subscriber and want that, I've got a copy of it, so you can always peruse that. Probably the best thing in it is one of the charts I did showing how the OEX would actually collapse into expiration. That used to be a huge moneymaker. If you listen to Tom, the OEX put through, I think, 2 or 3 of his kids through college. It certainly it made my garage fill with a assorted amount of high-powered cars and motorcycles and planes. But those days are over. It's not quite as easy as that anymore. Anyway, take a look at that. Anyway, get a lot more tomorrow when the option market makers hedge their sides. They're going to have to tell you at least at some level where they're going to try to push the market. They may not always get it there, but they will always make it a little bit better most of the time, 8 out of 10 times a year. They'll push it that way. And at this point, normally you get into what is a rather bullish time of the market, and the options are already pushing higher. These have been pushing lower for the last 3 days. So, yeah, I've written the whole thing up. It'd take, like I said, an hour and a half to go through it, but I do have those. So let me know if you're a subscriber and email me at path@tfnn.com. If not, you can get my original article back from 2005 from Stocks and Commodities magazine. What else do we have? Oh, we'll look at that. And what else do we have? A day that will live in infamy.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day in 1975, the SS Edmund Fitzgerald sinks in Lake Superior, killing all 29 crew and members aboard. It was the worst single accident in Lake Superior's history. The ship weighed more than 13,000 tons, 730 feet long. It was launched in 1958 as the biggest carrier in the Great Lakes. It became the first ship to carry more than 1 million tons of iron ore through the Sceaux locks. And, of course, yes, we had that Canadian that had to sing a song about it. And, oh, my eardrums will never be the same. The Bataan Death March. The rape of Nan King, and of course the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Great savage things in our history on this day in 1975. Yes, Gordon Lightfoot. Yes, the evil from above. He's not such a bad singer. It was just that song made me want to kill myself. On and on and on. Yeah, I think everybody's got a song like that. Anyway, we will move on today to charts and move higher and beyond. So I can get my charts up here today. Oh, there were some horrible songs. Someone's asking what else I hated. There was one called Little Bear or something about some kid that was on the CB radio. Oh, man, did it make me want to go nuts, too. I forget what it was, Baby Bear or something. Kids don't know what we had to endure in the 70s for actually really bad said, oh, yes, Edgar Winter, that was, kids don't know. I had to walk to school both uphill both ways. Okay, MSFT is what I wanted to talk about because I once again wandered off the reservation here. Okay, Microsoft down today. You only had 2 gaps in Microsoft. There are a lot of other stocks that had 3 gaps, so I'm not as bearish Microsoft long term, but certainly you could probably put 10% on top of Microsoft, and it was a little higher than that because a lot of the shutdowns. If there was a company that, in absolute dollar terms, got more business than anybody else for COVID shutdown, it was certainly Microsoft. They were able to launch their Teams product and move 30 million people onto it in about 4 weeks. Kind of like Patton turning his army around, marching at 100 miles an hour overnight. And, the effort that would live in the annals of history. Unfortunately, and show's over. No one wants to talk to you. The war's over. And that's probably take this 10% off the top. So just probably because a lot of people went back to work fairly soon. We'll be back in.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we are back, down about 8-9 points on the S&P cash. And, of course, what we like to talk about is volume. We've got about 8.4 billion shares. So that's actually fairly good. Let's take a quick look at actual volume over the last few days. This is a report that I put in each edition of the Path of Least Resistance. And it shows the total volume and the total short volume. We went from Friday with about 10.5 billion shares. Yesterday to 17. Well, that would have been the 9th, wouldn't it? To 17 billion shares. I don't know why that's. No, that's right. That would be yesterday. So we had a lot of people that they got squeezed out. We're still seeing some of that in Boeing. But the biggest things out here to me are the incredibly light shorting of the equities. Now, a lot of people bought some downside VIX support, but more than interesting to me here, let me, where's that going to be? I got too much stuff all over my screen here. Let's see if I can't get it. Here is the chart of the put call ratio. The big red line here is the out of the money puts and calls on the S&P 500. The blue line is the all equities. So, of course, there's always a lot of equities that are in the money, either long or short. And, of course, they move differently than the ones that only trade on premium, which is the red line. But the one thing you can see is that you hit a spike just before the election, and it's been doing nothing but going down. And I've said it probably once, I've said it 100 times. I'm generally not worried in the market until people quit or stop shorting the market. And it's been light. The VIX tends to bounce around, kind of a good indication for the put call ratio on the VIX on kind of a short term move. On a longer term, it is the actual all the equities themselves. And now we're down to about 27% put call ratio on all those options in the equities of the S&P 500. So it is fairly extensive that there are very few people expecting any downside. And that's generally when you get the kind of rug pull we got from yesterday's morning kind of open to the close. So like I said, be very wary of nobody shorting, because that means when the market does go down, the opportunity for somebody there to buy your stock back because they have to cover their short positions mean the markets can go all that much faster. VPOEOUSC speaking. Crude oil. Okay. Crude oil probably taking a little bounce here on the idea that more people are going to be going back to work and doing more stuff. Not so worried about the demand for crude oil, more interested in the regulatory issues going forward in the XLE. But at the same time, everybody is going to be wanting to get some cash. So I think it's going to be 1 foot forward, 1 step back. But I'm not a big fan of the XLE here. Like I said, going forward, too many issues with regulatory issues and maybe even legislations going forward, as some people don't like crude oil. Texas tea is what I call it. But if we just look at crude oil itself, when people start getting nervous, the question is oil going higher because they're nervous and gold fell out of bed and, the other stocks have gone out of bed, so they're running to it for a place to park their cash? Or is it because demand is really going higher? You probably have a little bit of both right now in crude, but it's going to take a great deal for the exploration market to come back to any level. And again, I think fairly quickly next month we could see more regulatory issues that were peeled back 4 years ago instantly come right back. So be very careful about that on the XLE issues. Now, on this, you really wanted to see another day of follow through. Haven't really seen that yet, but we've only had one day up here. But within the next couple of days, if this is going to be something longer and bigger, you probably really want to see some follow through in this. If you're long, you stay long. If you don't, you really have to kind of wait for, at least in the OIH, you'd probably want something about 108 or 109 for a pullback on light volume. BPO USC speaking. Oh, POTUS. Okay. 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 Now that makes sense. I just wasn't thinking about it. I was thinking, what kind of symbol is POTUS? Oh, the vice president of the office of the vice president that is not taken office yet. I saw that yesterday. That was very confusing. I didn't think there was an office of the office of someone that hadn't taken office yet, but who knows? Maybe there is. Don't think there is, though. Okay. What else do we have? Got about a minute more here. Take a look at some other ones, some other questions people are asking on Netflix. Like I said, I mean, I've been talking about this since midsummer. Netflix certainly looked like it would be one of these companies that had real problems. Now they've raised the prices, I think another couple or $3 a month. That's kind of interesting. And of course, they're having problems with getting new series because the 6 months that Hollywood was really shut down also caused some bugaboos. Like I said, I think it's going to be maybe through next summer that Netflix and some of these others are in real problems. Netflix is not the only one. Disney, of course, just tried to get off the ground. They had a nice bounce, not because of their Disney streaming products, but because guess what? They're thinking that the Disneyland is not going to just be a large plot of ground in California that they're paying taxes on, but actually people coming back to a massive cash maker. And you've got a couple of days of that, but again, not much of a follow-through day to day. And I think that a lot of this gap, while they may be getting Disneyland back, I still think a lot of the problems they had with movie production and their streaming production are going to weigh on them probably through the rest and maybe but certainly next summer, maybe into next fall. I'm I'm thinking these things could bounce on short covering. I think a lot of this stuff will go sideways for a long time.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And we're back. Take a quick look to what do we have here? And we're down 4 points in the S&P cash. So again, kind of one of those things where it's kind of quiet, but not beyond the scale of reason going into options delta neutral day. And I had a couple of questions about that. And kind of the easy explanation of that is, let me see from the email here, is that if you, let's say you've got some options, and at the moment, they're a little better off. You sold a spread on both puts and calls, and maybe the stock's a little higher or a little lower. So you'll sell or buy some additional stocks to either go short or go long to hedge that out. So no matter what happens, within range, let's say you've got Microsoft, and you think it's going to be it's going to expire somewhere around $200 to $220, then you'll buy or sell or short the other side of those option positions. And why that isn't, it's not one and done tomorrow. They mostly get all of it right tomorrow, and then from then on, they're always laddering in and out of the positions during the day to make sure that they continue to see that option position not have any huge downside to them the rest of the time to expiration. Now, if it never happened, people would never buy them or trade them. So there's always enough out there, that 50 to 1 horse is always out there. And it's got to come in every once in a while, or you wouldn't get people to actually play those 50 to 1 horses if they never, ever won. Now, maybe the 50 to 1 wins every 100 times, and that's actually a bad bet, but it still happens. And so you'll get still people active in it. But that whole part is kind of like an arms dealer selling to both sides and hoping for a draw. But the war going on. So that'd be it. Somebody said that I'm not watching this. Okay. Looks to me like selling programs. We haven't seen one of those in about 3 or 4 months. Started to see those. I don't think they could even start a selling program on the downside back in March. Once we got back up to about 3,000 on the S&P cash, started to see some of those, and then the people came right back in a couple of weeks later, started buying again. But I haven't seen just out-and-out sell programs, but that's kind of what it looks like we've got right now. So we shall see. Question about Taiwan Semiconductor from Ralph. And you hit some highs. My problem here would be that the Chinese continue to lean on Taiwan. and it maybe try a soft coup. The people that are probably the most upset over the last few weeks has been the Australians, because they know that the Chinese are already looking at finding ways to take over Australia to get a hold of all the minerals that they'll need to become the world leader. And I think we talked about it maybe a month ago, that even some of the smaller islands in the chains that go down to Australia were starting to line up with Australia and arrest some of the Chinese spy ships going around the area to start looking at what's going on down there. Is the Chinese have a very long-term view of life, and it's hard to know when they're actually going to get active and go into something like Hong Kong like they did. But generally, when despots start moving and people don't do much, and to the point we have so far not done much, the rest of the world hasn't done much, I think it kind of encourages China to think that maybe they can go on and at least, it probably won't be tomorrow, and it could be years down the line, but every day they put just a little bit more pressure on a little bit more pressure. Now, we made a deal with Taiwan Semiconductor to actually move a lot of their production facilities to Arizona. And I don't know what's happening on that as of late. But the idea is to get enough of their technology over here that if China did overrun them, that the rest of the world would still be able to get products that it needs. China couldn't just hold it for ransom. But those are some things you don't want to think about. Australia is a kind of a adjunct nuclear power. And the question is whether or not someone would do that to thwart an invasion force. The question is, I'm thinking if I'm in Taiwan, man, do I want an exit plan? Because I'm not sure that people would want to stand up to China when they come and want to take it back over again. And of course, the only reason they care about taking it over is getting all the ability to manufacture chips. So I don't know. I think you need a poison pill there if you're the president of Taiwan, to make sure that if they do get it, that you burn everything before you leave. Okay, other questions out here for Workday. DDAY. And we have another one. Okay. So far, you don't have anything. This is in a bigger triangle pattern with higher lows and lower highs. You haven't really busted out of anything out here, but long term, probably pretty good. In short term, could this come back to about 185? I think that's where support is. And my guess is that some of the stronger stocks will continue next year to be strong, but this one probably needs to pull back to about 185. Is Apple a three-gap play? Not really. It would depend on what you're looking at. But what you have is really a single gap that gapped down and gapped up. But you only have two real gaps that I see in Apple at the moment that would be active. On Apple, you would love to see one more gap higher and then pull the string if you wanted to short it. The way it's acting, I don't think you're going to get that gap higher. So maybe a retest of the 107.14 over the next week or so. Of course, they're getting in to the strong part of the season. I think that this is probably going to find some footing right around Thanksgiving as people start looking at buying Christmas presents. So I'm not a big fan. I don't think there's a lot of money in shorting Apple out here. They still have 200 billion, even though most people are mad, and financial community that look at fundamentals that they don't have 300 billion. But still, I think there's a lot more low-hanging fruit than Apple. We'll be back in a minute.
Back
back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that will take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And I'm looking at what's going on here. It does look like we've got kind of a little sell program going on. And generally, we haven't had those. The high-frequency traders have been so good at moving the market around that you don't need to just dump a bunch of stuff in the market all day long. And when you see these 3, 4, 5 point drops all of a sudden in the S&P and even larger in the NASDAQ, looks like maybe somebody has got some sell programs out there into the market. They just wait for the bids and the asks to get big on both sides and then dump. And we'll have to take a look at that. Like I said, it doesn't happen very much anymore. That used to be the way you could make a lot of money in the market, and that is if you could spot it, you knew those guys were going to be going after that sell program all day long. You just get on and do it. Now with the high-frequency traders, it's whatever they can push the instrument up higher or lower. And, of course, you get a lot more extremes and a lot less trend intraday. Let's see if I've got anything else out here. Question on the SMHs. Man, you've got it. You don't really see the gap higher out here from yesterday. But you opened with that gap, and it pretty much filled it all quickly. You're coming back into the what is now going to be the second gap But yeah, I think you could easily see 182, maybe 180 on the SMHs back here fairly quickly. And maybe that is enough to satiate the market for trying to raise some cash. But like I said, mostly the market hates indecision, that we're still waiting for elections on January 5th, problematic. So probably a lot of people thinking maybe it's time to get out of Dodge. My thought is that we are at least kind of weak for the next 7-8 days. That's just sell when you can, not when you have to. We will certainly see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time.